So the mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, who's been talking all this smack on Governor Abbott and uh, busing migrants to her city, now she's the one playing musical migrants. So let's take a look.
This morning, more buses from Texas dropping off nearly 100 migrants here in New York City at the Port Authority. You can see it right there. Sanctuary city mayors are furious about this, including Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
He's treating these human beings like freight and like we don't need to know exactly what's what.
But now Mayor Lightfoot is being accused of hypocrisy after migrants relocated to our next guest city without a heads up from Mayor Lightfoot. Gary Gross.
And that's what these sanctuary cities, it's all for show. These Democrats love to look good, but whenever someone calls them out on it, they're completely hypocritical. It's so ridiculous. It really is. I'm so glad Governor Abbott called them on their bullshit. Someone had to.
So is the Grasso, that is the mayor of Burr Ridge, Illinois. He joins us right now from Chicago. Gary, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, so in your town of Burr Ridge, Illinois, right now, you've got 64 migrants. They're at a Hampton Inn. When did you find out they were there?
After they were checked in.
Who took them there?
You have to presume it's the city. Of course, they came into the city. That's where the buses originated from, and they were sent to.
We're all for, immigration, as long as it's not in our backyard. As long as it's over there, then they're for it.
Our city. There's confusion, even as we sit here this morning. There's confusion as to who made the decision, whether it was the governor.
And look, I guarantee she sent him to his city because he's a Republican.
Who, is a sanctuary state person, and or the mayor, but we got no heads up. I was not told. My staff was not told.
So are the migrants just in the hotel? Do they have something to eat? Has the state talked to them about, school or medicine or any of that stuff?
We are trying to get that message out. They are in our village, and of course, they're a lot safer in Burr Ridge than they are in Chicago.
Yeah.
So safety is the number one job of government, and so we're making sure they're safe.
Well, there was
they are not the.
And it's funny, you go to these Democratic cities, and they are literally the worst cities in America, hands down. New York, LA, Chicago. All murder capitals, all have the highest homelessness rates. Like, if that's not an indicator to you of how the Democrats run things, like, I don't know what is. If you can't understand that it's not like that everywhere else in the United States, you need to travel. You need to get out of your little bubble.
Problem. They are behaved. There's no issue with them at all. They're looking for school opportunities. We're inquiring as to whether or not they can be employed by our local businesses, if that's an option. We don't even know, frankly, how long they're going to stay. They're here legally, supposedly, because they are asylum seekers, which I understand just means that they're here temporarily until they go through the process.
Well, let's see how that all works out. We got a statement from the governor's office to WGN in Chicago. They said the state of Illinois has a prior relationship with the hotel, that Hampton Inn, being used in the suburbs, and their staff has done amazing work welcoming refugees and asylum seekers before. So it is interesting that local officials are choosing this specific instance to gripe to the press about Governor Pritzker has made it clear that Illinois is a welcoming state and xenophobia has no home here. Is he talking about you complaining?
He must be, and I take great offense from that. This has nothing, again, to do with xenophobia. We are a very diverse community, if anybody knows anything about
it. It has nothing to do with xenophobia.
It's not about the migrants. It's about the very thing that Lori Lightfoot complained about, and not giving us a heads up so we could be prepared, so we can tell our residents. Obviously, they had many questions. about safety, about health concerns, about unaccompanied
Exactly.
minors. And so it's just the arrogance of the state, just presuming they can do what they want. They invite people to come to this state, and then they just willy-nilly put them in the suburbs without even giving us the courtesy of letting us know.
Well, Mayor, thank you very much for stopping by and telling us your story. You got your hands full. Thank you very much for starting your day with Fox and Friends.
You know, and it's a blatant hypocrisy, and it's right there. She literally just did what she's been complaining Governor Abbott did to her. And it's funny because none of them will point the finger at Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, whose fault this really is. So it's ridiculous. We got a professional denier as a press secretary who thinks that they're not walking across the border. Meanwhile, the day that Biden made the announcement, it literally looked like the Thanksgiving Day parade walking across the border. Like, it was like the Million Man March walking across the border. But, you know, that's not happening according to the professional denier. So, she's got to go off of whatever's in her little booklet there. So, that's the hypocrisy of today. Like and subscribe.